Oh no! Never mind. There it goes. Okay. Hello, everyone. Galacticstorm here. Welcome to the show, and today we're going to be doing episode 2 of our BashBots Aftermath. And today we have our co-host Wither, the maker of Myronic and Wishbone, and we have a guest today. Hooray! In this one,
Hi.
yeah, George the Jedi and Tracker. Hi, welcome. Thank
Hello
you
there.
for being on here.
Glad to be here.
Yes. So, yeah. Event 2,
Yeah.
episode 2 was, I would say it was very fun. Would you agree with her? Where are you? Where are you?
Hi. I'm always here.
You better
It was good, yeah.
be. Yeah,
I enjoyed it.
it was very fun. Lots of spinners, lots of close decisions, some controversial. Some, yeah. And then we had the main event guy, Mr. George the Jedi and Tracker and Claymore. That one was also fun.
That rhymed. The main event
kinda
by
did.
George the Jedi.
I don't. I.
I think this is my first ever main event in BashBots.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also remember this episode was a sing-along episode.
Mhm.
So I hope you've all studied your musical number.
You didn't tell me that.
You didn't pay me enough for that.
No, we
Oh.
didn't. So yeah,
Well, have main point. I don't know.
Ming points.
I ain't
Yeah,
interested in your main
points.
points.
So yeah, George, about Tracker. No one really knows Tracker as much. So, what was your inspiration with Tracker, and why did you make this compared to like your last robot, Joyer?
Well, the very first tracker was a much different design. The original design for that, and then you can see it with this current one, was to be able to drive upside down and flip. So if I got flipped upside down, I could drive away first, get in a better position, and then self-right.
Ooh.
This version, it still has that, but now the wedges are a lot bigger now.
Nice. Nice. And did you get inspiration from other robots, or was this just your own design?
Kind of basically my own idea, just
Ooh.
like a box slipper shape that I wanted to see made. The first one was a lot thinner, like I said, and this one new version, Spoodle helped me make it bulkier. And then this third iteration, I did a lot of the more redesign of it. So like all the differences, like the entire side plate and the thing holding the side plate is new original stuff for me, and the details. If you count parenting, which if people don't know what parenting is, it's basically making props to make things look fancy. I redid all the parenting. But if you don't count that, Spoodle's props are still there that he did from the second version, which was in season 3.
Yeah, some people
So-
don't know like what parenting is. Some people in my channel, it's a little bit different because I usually do games and that. But yeah, it's a welcome advice if people are interested in this.
Yeah.
So
Parenting is very difficult, but Spoodle taught me how to do it, so I redid everything myself, and I did all the new stuff. The only things I did not touch at all were the silver bar things on the side for this version.
awesome.
Probably the wedges.
Yeah.
No, I had to reparent everything, in
Well,
order to do
I
it.
mean, re-weld them. The wedges.
Oh, we didn't have to re-weld anything.
Ah.
The original welding, for the second version, I think I did the welding for the one that was in season 3.
Nice.
I think the parenting is what Spoodle took the majority on, but he taught me some stuff for that, and then for this version, I did everything besides like that and maybe one other thing.
Yeah.
Because he was helping me and Ounce learn how to do stuff.
Ooh.
So like me and Thunderwave were working together with Spoodle to
Nice.
help like get ourselves better to make something look more artsy.
Artistic and more functioning. Correct.
Well, the wire was still the same. Like the E2 chips, like that was all me.
Yeah.
So like that I adjusted. Like he gave comments and suggestions and stuff.
Nice.
And
Nice.
Obviously with friction, it was already going to be better regardless because we had a new way of drive code called friction, which we discovered that like makes tires more grippy. And this was the first season that implemented it.
Ooh. So what did you?
So before,
I'm sorry. What were you gonna say?
Before that, we just had to use E2 driving with default tires, and it's a lot more slidey. Yeah, but with friction came new things, like we had to put speed limits on bots, because if you didn't put a speed limit on it, you could go a million miles an hour and like have perfect drive and perfect control.
Ooh.
And it's really abusive if you don't put a speed limit on it.
Nice. Did you, from season 3 to season 4, what did you improve on Tracker?
Basically updating the look of it and the friction.
Ooh.
Other than that, the only thing I needed to improve on was adjusting the friction drive. So I wouldn't say anything super serious changed besides some code stuff and the parenting.
Oh, that's nice.
And we also, actually, I forgot this. It has not been shown yet, and hopefully, maybe in future fights it will. I can't say. There are 2 other setups. An anti-horizontal setup and a mystery setup that not a lot of people know about, and I'm planning on keeping that way unless it needs to be used for particular bots.
Oh boy.
I saw it. I know it.
That sounds interesting.
Yeah, I would talk more on that setup, but
yeah, that'd be going.
I'm gonna wait until it gets shown, and if it ever does get shown, I will come back on the podcast and I will talk about it.
Oh yes.
But what if we don't let you back home? No.
Then you're terrible people, and you should feel ashamed for making me feel so terrible.
I am. I'm a terrible person.
You are
No,
a
you're
terrible
not.
person.
You're fine.
You're a terrible Dutch guy.
I am just the Duchess of Mans, probably.
Yes.
Uh,
Fight-wise, the first one was Gumdrops and Dynamite. Gumdrops being I would say, the newer Wave Ripper for this season. And then Dynamite was Dynamite, but with more improvements. But,
it did shrink in size, like Dynamite. Like, they did make it a lot more compact and more sturdy, where the old Dynamite was a lot bulkier.
It looked a lot bulkier, but the flipper changed too.
Mm-hmm.
And it did well for probably, the first half, and then all of a sudden the wedge went.
I'd probably say about the first 2 minutes, and then when the damage started piling up, that's when it started turning.
Yeah, and Gumdrops was able to get a win on that. I really like the design of Gumdrops. And Dynamite's pretty nice too. Anything you want to add on to that weather?
frogs are cool, and I like them. You better fucking plaster this screen now full of frog pictures. You can ask those for those.
I demand Big the Cat.
That as well. But
Froggy
yeah,
and Big the
Dynamite
Cat.
is amazing.
Yeah.
But it Grim is known for not making the sturdiest robots.
Honestly, I believe I was only there showing up to watch at the point. But I do remember that the big hit Gumdrops landed on Dynamite when it took the flipper off. I was like, yeah, Grim's dead.
Grim's dead. Yeah.
There's no other saying about it.
Was it unanimous or a close decision or a split decision? I forget.
What? Where?
I'm pretty sure it was
Grim
unanimous.
lost by knockout.
It was by
Yeah, it was a knockout, yeah.
Oh, okay.
He got flipped over.
Yeah, because he got tipped over.
Nice.
And then Gumdrops was like, "You want some more?"
And nearly went in the pit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
I really enjoyed Dynamite a lot. I got to fight them last season. I think that was like one of my coolest moments fighting them last season. So I was expecting a lot for this fight.
Yeah, and like the
they
new one
didn't
is just getting better.
They didn't disappoint. Like Grim did great, but just the damage that Gumdrops was able to pile up was just too much for them this fight.
Oh yeah, it was too much. So Firewave versus Glacier.
Glacier.
That was
Before we continue,
The only thing.
well, I want to say something real quick because, obviously, the title of the episode is called "Controversy."
yeah.
The judging criteria of effectiveness was just invented, and it wasn't fully defined yet, as it is now in the community.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why if there's certain decisions you may or may not find agreeable, that is one thing that kind of can factor into it, is that the definition of effectiveness wasn't 100% as it is now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do I disagree with the decisions?
I think that's
not
why a lot of the
necessarily. I'm
reactions
just saying.
yesterday. I think that's why, the decisions during this season, some people got salty, and it's understandable because it was new at the time. But you look back on it now, and you're like, yeah, that was pretty good, solid decision. I agree with it.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, you had me back then being like complete, you know.
I tried to explain it to you like 50 times, and to your co-driver Maro, and it cost me a whole night.
It was a good fight. Oh, Jose.
Bird.
You might. Can you? Is there a chance you can move the bird out of the room?
Is there no turn off button on the bird?
I'm sorry.
Like simply
Hang on.
turning off.
I mean, there is, but according to PETA, because what I was thinking, hey, duct tape exists.
I'm
So-
trying not to mess around with that stuff.
It was a controversial decision, but I think it was a good choice too. Like,
Yeah,
you
I
could-
wouldn't
Glacier-
really call it controversial.
I mean,
because I think a lot of people were seeing the hits as being effective,
yeah. And
when
ripped off-
also yes, it
It
was.
wasn't really. It was more of because
Well-
it wasn't really Mystic hitting Glacier.
It was
It
Glacier,
was more Glacier
hitting
charging
Mystic.
into Firewave and getting hit in the process.
Yeah,
Because Mystic wasn't really aggressive. He was more wobbling in place because the man doesn't know how to slow down a horizontal when it's starting to wobble.
Yep. Even
well,
Jose's
to
agreeing
be
with
fair
this.
to him though, it can be a lot of nerves.
Yeah.
Because people can say, "Oh, the event's just
I
for
know
fun," and not
that,
take
but-
it seriously. But it's a filmed
Oh,
event.
it's a try-hard comp.
A lot of people take it very serious, which you shouldn't. If any of you that are listening right now want to join BashBots, take fun with it, because then you will actually enjoy it.
Well,
We're already tryharding enough.
Don't be me.
hold on. Being try hard doesn't necessarily mean you're not having fun. That's just a terrible misconception.
Oh,
like-
it's
You just need to have fun.
more the average.
You can drive like a tryhard, but don't have the attitude like a tryhard. Don't be like, oh, this is you know.
Well, that's just more being salty.
don't-
'Cause, the original try hard is
Yeah.
just you're just trying your best. You're trying hard.
Yeah.
Yeah. But what I mean is don't be don't
Salty.
be an arse.
Don't be
If
salty
you
or be
lose,
pussy.
take the loss and use it as a learning experience. Find out what you did wrong during the match and use that to figure out how you can improve.
So with this fight, a lot of it was aggression from Glacier.
Yeah.
Firewave was slowly chipping away and eventually started to
very
get the
good control.
hits. And I think even if you look at the scorecard, it reflects that in the fight. Hold on, let me get the thing up of it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
was-
it has aggression and control heavily in favor of Glacier, and then Firewave. What was it? 6-3 all across the board on damage.
Effectiveness was
Effectiveness?
6-3 for Firewave. For Glacier, everyone said, except for Judge 2, 5-4. 6-3 for Glacier and aggression for Judge 2.
Nice.
And then control was 6-3, while Judge 3 said 5-4. So regardless, it was in favor of Glacier for all the judges,
Yeah.
except for Judge 3, who
Which is
gave...
fully understandable.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it was still a new thing too.
Anyway.
Now
Should we now go to that fight?
this
Well,
fight,
Yeah.
Oh, no.
yeah, Twinzer
But
and Sparks.
First, we should probably know what was behind Twins this
The
year.
fight that
Sky.
gives me PTSD.
Sky.
Well, for Twinzer this season, after I lost my last match last season, both you two know, whether George, you two know about it. It was only been a month later I started actually doing 3D modeling and catted up a version of it for next, like this season. The original one was actually about, I would say only about 60% of the size of the one you saw this season. It was actually really tiny, but size of a middleweight. And I went on and tested it in like a couple of other competitions. It was meh at best. So then I tried to improve it a bit more before this season started. And in all honesty, looking back on it, I think I made it way too big because, yeah. My plans, however, though, going forward to next season, I think I might bring it back to what it used to be in that version I was testing, the middleweight size. Because I've proven in other games I can make it compact with just as much power. Because I can run it, because the way I've designed it in, for example, RR2, I've got it running completely off of brushless, and it's running Hardox for like the entire unibody. And that thing can take quite a while then before it dies.
Ooh. And what improvements did you make all around with Mr. Twinzer?
This season, the chassis is a lot more robust. You might have seen in that match with Sparks, my wedge came off.
Oh.
Reason being is because it was so wide, so it had to be lighter by the game's balancing standards.
Oh.
However, in correlation with that, I decided to take advantage, and since I couldn't put the weight in my wedge, I put the weight in my wheels and my chassis. So those back wheels could have sustained at least 2 more hits, I would say, from Sparks before dying. And my chassis, I have tested before that match happened, could sustain definitely, I would say, but 25 to 30 more seconds of a slugfest with Sparks head-on before it would have died.
Ooh. Oh, that's nice. Or that's cool. Let's see. The match.
Next season, though, next season, my plans, I'm planning on putting, like, balancing forks on the sides of the actual chassis prop itself, so that it doesn't lean forward and bounce off the ground. And then I'm going to give the spinners a bit more reach. I'm going to make them overhang from the chassis a little smidge. So that way, if my wedge does come off, I have the reach advantage, and I'm going to go head-on and literally just beat the hell out of everything on my face.
Burp.
Burp. Bird loves to talk.
Might go Omni-Wheel next season.
Ooh.
Oh, yeah.
We need a fucking bird in BashBots. I think auditioning for it right now. We need them to drive Tropical Bird. Only a few people know what Tropical Bird is. Probably only 3 of the people.
Oh god, that thing.
Can we get to the subject though? Sparks.
The fight itself.
Yes.
Yeah, it was a close fight, and you gave him a run.
It was
for his
incredibly
money for
close.
30 seconds.
I was coaching Maro along the whole way. Like as soon as he got a dig, I was like, okay, well he's spinning this way, charge into that side of him, and like if he was upside down, we're like, okay, swap tactics. During my interview for the fight, I decided to kind of play it off, you know, and I was like, okay, so I got drawn against the Season 1 champion, this is like a big thing, you know, he's a huge horizontal, probably the most dangerous in the field right now, yada yada yada, etc. I was like, so my strategy is, Twinzer's new experimental spinners, these tri-bars, aren't exactly the most powerful in the world, but I have noticed they can keep a horizontal just kind of popping above them in the air.
Oh boy.
My crazy plan is we're gonna pick them up like that, juggle them, and pop him out over the corner of the arena wall for an Uda. If we can pull this off, we may be one of the biggest targets this season. Oh, yeah. And well, you just saw how that plan went.
Yeah, it did pretty well, and then the wedge broke.
It did what it could.
It did
After the wedge broke, you also lost 2 wheels.
Yeah, the 2 front wheels just ceased to exist because they weigh like nothing.
Oh yeah, and then Sparks got the. I would say a good decision.
Another thing that I kind of messed up on is that I could have made my weapons weigh at least a smidge bigger. Like most people's weapons weigh like 150, that year. I had Twinzer's Strybars running at 125 because I felt like, okay, I probably shouldn't put this much. I should have taken weight out of the chassis to put into the weapons. And I also used the wrong physical property. I was using Metal Grate instead of Soccer Ball, which I could have been using. So, basically, I ran a little test actually today in the arena against, like, Toad and a couple of other people. And that version of Twinzer actually potentially could have sent Sparks about 3 panels up the wall.
Oh. Ouch.
Would be nice.
But it didn't.
You know,
work.
Sky, I actually also had that during this season. So, I know the pain.
Yeah,
I know
I would say, yeah, you know how that feels.
Yeah, I have that also. But we will see how that will impact Wishbone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was
Which
a
we
good.
still haven't seen it.
It was a close fight, no, regardless. But let's go with the.
I
the
think this
opposite
one
side.
was probably more deserving of the controversial
Yeah,
title
more
compared to the
more-
other one.
I will say,
Yeah.
I was actually a judge of this fight, so I kind of know like the background of
You
how we judge.
were,
this.
yeah, I think you were the one that
Yeah.
swayed in my favor, weren't you? If I'm not mistaken.
Basically, why
Yeah,
it's come
'cause,
down. I will tell a bit of background. So, me with the other 2 judges, we were sitting there
I
and
believe
we're
it was,
like, we
who
were
was it? It was
rewatching the
Neroli
fight.
and Robo, I think it was.
No, it was Neroli and Kroger, I think. Basically,
okay.
we were judging, and like I think Kroger came with, like Sparks did the damage throughout the match, and that's what it's meant to do. And then we would discuss for like a solid 10 minutes, like
it
right,
was a long
what are we deciding?
like this was, if I'm not mistaken, too, with her, this was one of the matches where the judges actually had to go and look at the EPD health as well, because like we were looking at how much damage Sparks took as well, because we're
Yeah.
I was juggling around for like the most of the match.
We really had trouble judging it, but that makes it fun.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was all long, JD.
Yeah.
Speak-
But
That was
that
like
fight-
10, 12 minutes, I think, before you guys came back in the chat.
Yeah. That was a very good fight, and that's why it was there on the card. Otherwise, it would have not been there. Cosmo, the best robot, the most popular robot as well, fighting
Starfire.
the Dark Angel. Dark
Starfire.
Angel.
It was
Was it Dark
Starfire.
Angel?
No, it's
Starfire.
Starfire.
No, I
No.
mean Dark Angel last year,
You
and then
5-hit.
this year
It
it's
was
Dark
Angel Dusk last year, you
Dark
5-hit.
Angel.
Yeah, Dark Angel is
No, it's
not.
Angel Dusk.
They're
Oh,
two
Angel
different
Dust.
robots.
Dark Angel is their version.
Alright,
Oh,
let's just start over.
Okay.
It's
He said
anyway.
stuff out.
Anywho,
It was a massacre.
yeah, Starfire and Cosmo. Starfire died. Fatality. Cosmo
Very
sucks.
much.
That basically.
Yeah,
so-
it was pretty rough.
Yeah, it was. I mean, there's really not much to say about that one. It was one-sided most of the time, and it got disassembled most of the time. And then Cosmo just got Cosmo did get a few hits from Starfire, but it didn't do anything. Yeah. So it was it was nice, quick and simple, just like the catch and the Cyberstorm fight.
Yeah, it was. I think it could have probably been highlighted because it was that quick and just a murder.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At least in my opinion, I would have.
Honestly, the
seen other
Calcifer
fights.
Rage Against the Fridge fight would have been better.
Yeah, but that fight. Well, we will get to those very soon. But
Yeah.
yeah, probably that should have been there instead.
Yeah. It was. It was. a
It's
murder.
Cosmo.
Yeah.
Come on, we have to be kind to Cosmo.
Yes.
The best robot.
Humble.
He has so many lemons inside that you could probably power a few tombstones with it.
A few
So
Really
a few
proud car.
tombstones.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, and also probably a car. Probably Tesla just goes to Team Cosmo and just steals all
Oh
the
god,
lemons.
imagine that actually. Imagine a LEM powered like go kart or something. That'd be awesome.
A Tesla powered
Nice.
go kart.
A Tesla powered vert. Well, actually, fun fact, a bit off topic, but there was in BashBots the dentist who was going to run a Prius hybrid motor for their spinner.
Uh oh.
This was back when speed
Oh
limits
my
were
God.
nothing in BashBots. So that thing could have spun at like 1,000 miles an hour, but they didn't have proper speed controls for it, so
Yeah.
it broke.
Oof.
But anyway, should we move on from the most controversial fight from the episode,
Yes.
and now move on to some highlight fights?
Yeah, the highlight fight.
Does anyone remember them?
Let's
I remember one of
go.
them.
We'll say Calcifer and Rage Against the Fridge was one.
Yeah.
Tranquilizer Wah. I don't remember how you say it.
Yeah.
I
Tank
think-
Off and
Tank Off.
Ryu
Fire-
Kishin.
Ryo Kishin.
Ew.
So, let's first start with-
go!
Let's first start with the good one, which is the one with Jolu, with Rage Against the Fridge, and
And
Calcifer. Or
George,
Calcifier, whatever the fuck you want to call it.
what do you think
I
about
remember
It's
watching that
Calcifer,
fight.
yeah.
Yeah.
I was a cameraman for
Yeah,
it.
that was a good
and
fight.
It was just sad.
It from what it was, those 1 minute or whatever the fuck how long it was, it could have been a main event with that quality. Just
Yeah,
the thing
and then
is,
Jolu was like, nah, fam.
what I can say is Jolu's driving. Basically, what I always get scared of fighting him because I did in the ball bats before.
Yeah, he's an
Actually,
amazing
with
driver.
Wishbone, he's very good at taking advantage of your mistakes, and that's why I'm fucking scared.
And that's
the one
probably why
person
he
I'm
went.
most nervous about.
Yeah, that's probably why he got out of the arena because he knew.
Yeah.
Like he was in that spot. He was like, ooh. And then
Yeah,
was
he
like,
takes advantage. It's super scary fighting him, and I think he could be considered the best driver besides Kroger.
Oh yeah.
Because Kroger just is good at driving generally. and
Oh, that's
Jolu's
amazing at
drifting
driving.
Yeah,
And then we
but
have.
Kroger will appear later-ish sometime.
Then we have whatchamacallit. We have.
Yeah.
We have Deep Six
Frank.
or not Deep Six, Vertically Unchallenged and El Mungras.
Ah, yeah, the forklift.
Oh, yes.
Amazing.
That.
Yeah.
I wasn't
Simple
actually
lift and
there
dead.
to see any. I wasn't actually there to see any of Vertically Unchallenged fights.
Yeah,
Which
I
kinda
will
sucks.
say, I do have a fun fact. I actually did the physicals for CAD modeling that Vertically Unchallenged. You send me those, and I
Yeah,
did
you
most
imported
of the
it.
work. It was some stuff couldn't get imported because it was too pain to actually do the physicals for.
Oh yeah.
So
Ouch.
it missed the anti-horizontal cell, but it didn't need it for this fight.
How fast was that fight? Do you?
The anti was done though was like that tiny little miniature Zarka wedge, wasn't it?
Yeah, so Zark wedges on the. Yeah, that's the only anti-horizontal bit that was really left, and the bar. Anyway,
It was like the
that
most
fight. Yeah,
tiny ass little wedge.
we've already talked, I think, longer about the fight than it actually lasted.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah,
next
it was
fight.
fast.
Ryu Kishin
so?
versus Tankoff.
Trank versus Wag.
Oh,
Wasn't
we're doing other fight.
We're kind of out of order already.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
We
Let's
are.
do Tankoff's fight. Tankoff this season is a bit nerfed from last year.
Yeah. And,
say
The
that.
size of a lightweight.
and then
It-
Ryu Kishin just took him a
Was
tour
very
across the
kind to
mountain.
him.
Yeah. He was upside down. Then he went right side up. Right upside down. Right side up. Upside down. Okay,
Base.
screw you. I'm taking the win.
All right. Anyway, next fight.
Yeah.
The last fight,
What was the last one?
Tranquilizer and Black
Mr.
Boss.
Noir.
Yeah,
Frank.
that was like probably Orc was like, "Oh, I'm fighting
That
the
was
free
sad.
qualifier person. Oh, I will be fine." Then he was like, "Huh?
Wait, it's Tranquilizer.
Tranquilizer?"
Oh my god. No,
He
it's like
fucking
it's like,
shut the bed.
it's like the Rick and Morty thing. It's like, what's my purpose? You're gonna fight Tranquilizer. Oh
Yeah.
my god.
Oh
Yeah.
my god.
Wild Boss is a cool robot, but
Yeah.
I already said that I think in the rundown thing. So yeah,
Oh yeah.
I mean, it's a dustpan hammer, so like if that thing had a lot of power, dear God. Because
Does that?
for one, it's not really going to recoil because of the fact that it'll have the other robot weighing down with its front, so it's not going to like fly back as much. So it's going to be a lot more like heavy hitting from that hammer, which is interesting.
Oh yeah. But basically, Tranquilizer
I don't know
dominated.
why. Part of me wants to try that kind of thing, but as a walker. Like, imagine having a dustpan on the
No.
end of a walker's hammer set. Well, like when you get stuck there, boom.
So it's like
Oh, no.
So it's like Chomp, but with a scoop.
Yeah, Chomp, but with a dustpan on the turret.
I have
The
no-
main event.
Yes.
The best fight.
Greg Moore versus Tracker.
Greg Moore versus
Greg.
not Greg Moore.
My name's not Tracker.
He is Tracker. He just is.
Anywho,
Does not
George,
know yet.
what were you thinking about this fight besides saying, "Oh my God, I have to face this thing"?
I was a lot nervous for the fight because like Claymore is a very good wedge. I kind of stuck with my strategy, other than I did want to stay away from the side walls,
Yeah.
but it was kind of unavoidable. / me thinking I could maybe get an Uda. Tracker is a pretty old bot as well, but that wasn't really brought up, and I think I mentioned that to Krogan. I mentioned its age and also the fact that it's a Daredevil robot too, because one of its things that it was popular for in the server, or I say popular, but it was a thing that I was known to do, was jump over an open pit.
Yeah,
I could get enough speed with the flipper and I could flip over the pit. And I actually did it last season in the 10 Robot Rumble. So if anyone wants to go back and look at that.
I remember that.
And then I outdid you and rammed it to the wall so hard that physics broke.
Yeah.
Yeah, you were. I remember that.
That was the last we ever saw of Micronic.
I'm going to try and do it again this season, so hopefully that can happen.
Oh yes.
But
oh yeah.
the other thing I could say is I did a little Easter egg with my sing song. My whole thing this season for my interviews is I actually sung or quote songs in my interviews.
Nice.
And
I think I'm going to change that next season and do something
else.
Interview.
Just start doing hard metal or whatever the fuck. Start playing instruments.
Play Disturb. And
yeah,
I forget what I was gonna say. Damn it! But with the fight,
the main event.
The main event. It was going back and forth pretty well. I think
It was actually a really good fight.
I think Tracker did some good amount, but then I saw Claymore and I was like, oh jeez. And then it was going back and forth. It was nice control and all that.
Everyone I've talked to said I was winning.
Yeah.
Like even Greg said that. Like he was starting to get a comeback, and if it went to the judges, I probably would have won. Which kind of sucks, but that's the game.
Yeah.
You got the right flip at the right time.
Yeah.
There was a couple moments I was really happy with my drive. Like there was one moment where he got me over, and I wanted to self-right. I was close to the floor flipper, so I drove over it and self-righted. I might have even jumped over it, actually.
Yeah.
And he followed me, and the floor flipper triggered because I went over it first, and he went flying away.
Oh.
Big brain.
Yeah, that was nice.
The only thing...
But
that,
Greg using the floor spikes.
Yeah. The floor
His
spikes.
arch nemesis.
Yeah, he got me with the floor spikes a few times.
Oh.
I think the thing that really did me in on this fight, there was at one point I had him lined up with the pit, and I charged him, but my flipper was still open. And as the flipper was going down and he was self-righting, he managed to lift me over. Ooh. So that charge was basically negated.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
So it's like one of those quick moments. If I'd slowed down for a second, maybe, or was a little bit faster, then maybe we'd have a different result.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it was a very fun fight. Either way,
yeah.
even though you lost on this one, it was a very entertaining fight.
Yeah.
Oh.
Sucks I didn't get to do any of my Daredevil stunts. I guess I should say angel stunts because I'm a Christian. But
not Christian and no.
It was a really good fight, and I'm glad that for a 4th season in a row, I got to be in the 2nd episode.
Yeah.
Every
episode 2, I've been in BashBots.
Before, I had a streak going of being in episode 1.
I finally got to be in another episode.
Oh, yeah.
I had a streak of episode 1, and then this season I've lost that.
Sad.
Craig, how could you? If he's even listening to this, he's probably just dead now.
Oh.
Is it listening or watching?
Both. He can do both. Yeah, he's a frog. He can do it.
I thought that was Sploodle. Ribbit.
Everyone is a frog.
I'm not.
You
No,
better
no,
not.
you are.
I wasn't invited to this Disney movie where we all become frogs.
Oh.
This should be this episode should be called the Disney movie. We had sing-alongs, we had fairy tale stuff.
We had people
We
talking.
had fucking Sparks. Sparks is like not the villain.
By
Sparks
the way, I think
my favorite villain.
that was all coincidental
It's
that I also
actually
sing
kind of funny.
as my plan. I don't know if they planned that around me or
Yeah.
if that was just pure luck that I also singed in the episode that they started singing.
Oh.
Yeah. They probably were like, yeah.
It's just funny because I actually had plans to be the villain as well this year, and look how that turned out.
Yeah.
Now you're the fan. Now you're Jake. You were.
I think I might be one of the somewhat fan favorites now. I have seen so much support in those comments, and I'm like, bruh.
Anywho, or what?
Oh, the man.
The one thing that I want to talk
Man
about
himself.
last is the most impressive bot within this episode, and yes, I would have to agree. It would have to be Twinzer, from being a qualifying bot, from going through Sparks and giving him a run for his money. Tracker, it was also a very good bot too, and Glacier was also a very good bot as well, even though with the controversial decision. I would agree, yeah.
The new
it
Glacier
deserved
is
that
honestly
win.
so well driven.
Oh yeah, all of them definitely noteworthies, except Cosmo because he's bad. Anything that we would like to add on, good sirs?
Well, I suppose I could give the viewers one little tidbit.
2 + 2 is 4.
Here's a little insider information on the judge's decision. Had I lost the wedge about 5 seconds later or so, apparently I would have won the judge's decision.
Oh,
It was the timing of when I lost the wedge is what did it. Had I lost the wedge 5 seconds earlier, I probably would have gotten counted out for mobility. Had I lost the wedge 10 seconds later, I would have won the JD.
nice. And they said with George, you
The
said,
one interesting thing is, had I made my robot about an inch smaller, I could have had the wedge be heavy enough to survive the entire match.
oh,
Sometimes
yeah.
you just look
Anything
at
that you want to say next, George, before we?
Good episode. Can't wait for my more fights.
Yay,
And
God.
stay tuned for more Tracker things, because there might be some exciting stuff in the future with Tracker.
Oh, yes. So, thank you all very much for watching. Be sure to like, favorite, share, subscribe, all that fun stuff. And be sure to look at our Facebook pages down below and our links. I'll be putting each of them a link to their channels. And thank you all very much for showing up. It was fun, exciting, fantastic, wonderful. And
Also, don't forget to PayPal me $5.
what?
GG's, God bless. See y'all later.
All right, bye-bye.